Now, what are we going to do about this? I went to the store. I got a plate with a hole in it. And that's what we're going to do here. Now, these holes don't line up with the holes in the box. They thought of that, and so what you do is you put this in first, okay? You screw that in, and then there's other screws there that fit on the back side of that, okay? So that's how that works. Now, you remember, got this cord end. I got electrical tape over there. I got to pull that off because I didn't want insulation or anything inside the wall to get in there. So pull that off. And I've got to get that through there. And this DVD cord, you remember? Look at this. Got these 3 ends here. There's no way I'm going to cut those ends off and do anything. And you see that hole? It's not even big enough to put one in. So I got my work cut out for me. I'm going to have to make this hole bigger. And I've got a rasp bit on my drill. And I'm going to ream that out. But I have to remember about this. Whichever way I put that, I don't want to make this hole too big the same because I might get into the back there. So I want to look at that. See that? I can only go to one side a little bit. Then I have to elongate the hole over a little bit, one way or another, because see, I can flip this around either way. Okay, so this hole is going to be elongated a little bit, and then it's just trial and error, because I don't have to get it. I don't have to get the hole that big. You know what I mean? If I put one in first, then I push that off to the side. Then I can put the next one in, put that off to the side, the next one. You know what I mean? So it's just going to be a little trial and error working on that. And here's the tool I'm going to use. It's just a rasp. I'm going to put that in my drill. And that's just going to eat that plastic all up. And this one's getting pretty dull. If you've been watching my channel, I said that next time I went to the store I'd get another one, and I forgot. But this still has some bite to it, and we're only going through plastic, so I'll be fine. I got that cover in there, and see the holes. I had to make the hole bigger, you remember, to get these through here. Now once I get this all situated and I know exactly where I want this, I could fill that up with white caulking or something like that. I don't want to, or I could even leave it like that, but you know, it's going to be behind the cabinet when we get all done. But here's my TV cable. You remember, I'm going to just screw that into here because there was that stud there. If this was in the same bay, I could have pulled that out and put everything on the back side, put that on the inside of the wall, connected it, and put a blank plate over it, you know. But it's not how it happened, did it? There's different ways to do it. Now, you see, this is no different than plugging in your TV with just this behind a dresser, because there's only going to be so tight you can get that. Okay, so now I can push the rest of this back up the wall, pull that up a little bit maybe, like that, and I can have it like that. I could leave it just like that if I wanted. Pull it down a little bit if I want. Like that. I could have it like that. And like I say, you're never going to see that because it's going to be behind the cabinet. Another thing I could do is, because the cord is long enough, I can pull some out like that. And I can drape it down. And drape it down like that. If I want. Or I could roll it up or something, you know, like that. I could put a little zip tie over that and leave it like that. And if later on you decide to push it back up there further, you can just push this up and then it's just going to go up in the wall cavity. You know, however you want to do it, it's fine. Good old craft paper. See, when I get done, I can just fold that up very carefully, kind of brush it all up, fold it up, throw it away. I like craft paper. If I got my, if I had a cloth, drop cloth, then I'd have to brush that all off, and next time I needed it, it'd be all dusty. If I'm covering furniture, now I got dust on my furniture. This way I can just take that and throw it away. All right. I know I've hounded you enough about craft paper. If you haven't seen any of my other videos, it comes in a roll like that. And then you just unroll whatever you need, set it down, tape it up against the wall, and throw it away. And I got plenty. Look at this. I got all kinds for all kinds of jobs. So one roll will do you for a long time. Now see, that's why I had to get a cord, the DVD cord, a 12-foot long one, because I'm barely going to have enough room to set this up on top of a dresser and plug it in on the back side. Okay, then I let the rest of it drape down behind the dresser. Okay, because most of the ones that come with TVs are maybe only 4 or 5 feet long, maybe 6 feet at a pinch. So I get up here, before I put the plate up here, I'm going to have to put a plate just like I did down at the bottom. Got to make sure I have enough, because see, it doesn't look like I have very much here, huh? I'm not going to have the TV pushed over that far up against the wall. You see this? I just had it kind of pooched out of the way, because ultimately it's going to come back over this way and it's going to live about like that, you know? But wherever they push it, I need to make sure I have this cord long enough. The funny thing is, on this TV is the cord for the DVD is way over at that end. I wish it was over on this end, but it's not. So I got to make sure I got this routed over properly. And see, right now, these cords aren't long enough, are they? They're just not going to be long enough, but I know I'm not going to have the TV exactly like that. If somebody does that by mistake, they could rip this right out of the TV or something. So I may want to pull this up a little bit. I don't want to pull it up very far, because I want to make sure I have enough down below. Remember? So I got to watch that carefully and make sure I have enough, because if they have a low dresser here, fine. If they have a higher dresser, remember this dresser over here? I got the light on it right now, but that one's higher than a normal one. So if they leave that there and push it over here, I got to make sure that that DVD cable is tall enough to get up there. And I think it is. It goes straight up. The cabinet is about yay high, so I should have plenty, depending where they have that cabinet. I just have to kind of be careful with that. And worst case scenario, after I get the plate on there, before I caulk it, I'll push this around and make sure that I've got enough room. Okay, put that plate up there for me. All right, I better show you a little tip. Remember, I drilled this hole out with this rasp, and it started working pretty good. I thought, you know, I'm just going to take a drill bit see if I can use a drill bit like this and use the edge of it to cut out the plastic. I use this size here. It's, I don't know what it is, maybe 11/64. I thought it was taking too long, so I thought I'll just take a bigger bit like this. That'll cut right through that, huh? In fact, this one was worse because the teeth, the side edges were too big and it was chattering and stuff, and believe it or not, I used a real small bit, and this small bit just ate up that way better than anything else. So I did a rough cut with this and kept cutting it. Then I went back to my rasp on the drill. You know, I had to put this in the drill, and I took the rasp and cleaned off the edge. So maybe that will help you with your project. Now, at the store they had one with the bigger hole, but it was way bigger than that. And then I'd have to caulk more. So I didn't know how big I was going to need that hole. That's why I decided to do it myself. Here's something else you could do, and I've seen somebody do it like this, but it's kind of cheesy. You know, they had the hole here, and they only had to ream it out a little bit to get this cord through. And then they took this cord, instead of drilling the hole out bigger, they undid the screw here, and then folded this underneath here so that this was in the box. And then it kind of pooched out the bottom. Then your cover plate's sticking out. You could caulk that around there and all that, but that looks kind of funky. You know, it is possible though. I've seen people do it that way. Now here's something else. If you got a cover like this with just the thread sticking out, and you're putting a DVD cable into this same box, you could have the thread sticking out in the middle of this cover, and then you could loosen the bottom up and have this pooched out at the bottom and coming out. You could, you know, you could do it that way too, because you wouldn't have enough room doing it any other way with this threads in there. You know what I mean? So there's different ways you can do it. There's no right or wrong way. There's probably 3 different ways you can do that. So I'm just kind of explaining it. And does it really matter? No, because all this is going to be hidden from view. If this was going to be left, and if there was not going to be any dresser here, I would not leave it like this. I would have to think of some other way to do it. You know what I mean? But because most of the time you can have a dresser here, because you got the TV up above the dresser, you don't have to worry about it.